What's going on with these good brothers?
All right, Rory and Maul podcast, fresh off the Danny podcast for the stop. Rory goes back to the show, and Maul's like, "Yo, Rory, I wanted to clear something up that you said on that interview that you did with Danny, and it was pretty much you said that I have reached out to Nori or it was either $1 million worth of game,
$1 million worth of game,
and they left me on red. And I just wanted to be clear, like I need to clear this up. Like I never got left on red ever. Matter of fact, I never text a man to be on this podcast. I wouldn't do that. Like, why would I text a man to be on this podcast?
Went really deep into
one of my good friends, I call him my brother. He's just like Maul.
For real?
Yeah, he not vulnerable. He afraid of vulnerability. He might be on the it's this nigga. It's this nigga. You know, he's afraid of being in his vulnerable, state. Okay. So Maul immediately felt disrespected because it's like ego, which is he's a creative. It's supposed to happen. But like, nah, this is just Maul's ego.
So when I first heard it, I'm not gonna lie, I ran that segment back like 4 times. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was insane. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Yeah, it got ridiculous. It got to the point where I was like,
so ridiculous. I couldn't believe what my ears were. And I'm glad they played the whole thing out because they didn't trip. Obviously, they're homies. Like, well, and I don't think that's not the energy in that room. Like, we'll get live in this bitch, like going back and forth. Yeah. They were calmly like, let's ask all the questions surrounding this.
Because they were all shocked.
Niggas
was shocked. All of us were on the this same
like,
level
what if
like,
it's one of your friends? What if you already like him?
Yeah.
Man, that was the craziest shit I ever heard. And then so my initial first thought was, God damn, man, like if that was the person that I was in business with 50%, what the fuck? That's that's a nigga's worst nightmare.
That would be devastating.
That is the worst nightmare.
I wonder,
a nigga who is just like, we have to explain the concept of growing a podcast.
Yeah.
And that's our business.
I wonder if it was just because it was Nori and being that they're both from New York.
Or Gilly. It was Gilly, I think.
But it was Gilly?
Both of them came up, but I'm pretty sure the Left on Red thing was Gilly, the $1 million worth of game podcast.
Oh, okay.
And he was saying, long story short, Rory got conflated. They were at the Roots picnic. He hit him up to say, yo, we in the city. And they just never hit him back because it's the Roots picnic. I'm sure niggas was busy.
Going on.
But Rory conflated that with him reaching out to be like, yo, we're in New York. We can slide through the podcast.
And Maul was adamant about protecting his reputation.
Yeah.
Like he had to make it
never
very
reaching
clear
out.
that that's not happening.
It's never happened.
How can you be?
It can't happen to him.
And it's crazy how because I feel like Maul is smart. You would think he would be able to.
What gives you that impression?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying he's stupid, but what makes you just think he's smart?
I want y'all to answer that.
Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna use one of the old tactics. You said he's smart, prove it.
Oh my God.
How was he? What did he do?
He's using a woman's tactic, but I will answer your question.
You love black women, right?
I love it though.
You love black women, right?
Yeah, feminine
you
tactic.
love black women, right?
What was the question,
you
ma'am?
You love black women.
What was the question, sweetie?
How is he smart?
The nigga is smart because,
in what ways too? I think that's the most important thing.
I phrased it like I feel like he's not stupid. Maul doesn't seem like a stupid individual. So, and I was saying like I feel like he should be able to come out of a third perspective to kind of analyze himself and be like, yo, you being too cool is actually corny.
And I never called him stupid. I wasn't going that way. I was saying that you're giving him too much credit based off this clip we just listened to.
Literally. And being stupid doesn't make you smart.
Whoa. First of all, we didn't listen to the clip.
Well, I'm talking about we listened to it before. I heard it already. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
exactly, but we didn't listen to the clip. But I caught you.
You know what I meant.
You the real lawyer. But that's what I'm saying though. But as far as like all episodes of Maul, like he's not like a fucking F-Mac. He's not a genius, but I mean.
You don't even watch it every week, though.
I don't, but I know he's as smart as Tone.
Nah.
That's smart enough.
I'm smart enough to ask for help. Like Maul seemed like the kind of nigga who would reject CPR. Like literally,
exactly.
He went that hard. He's like, nigga, I would never ask nobody for million.
What I joke on Tony, but that's actually what Maul is. Like,
I couldn't believe that shit. I genuinely couldn't because. It made anytime something like that happens with them, it automatically makes me think the the bare the minimum thing. You know, the stereotype of the basketball husband. You know, living with other niggas, like having male roommates and never really having your own place. Where I don't know if any of that shit is true.
You said it's origin story, nigga?
Yeah, all of it could be false. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, man, when you hear that, I'm like,
kind of ties it all together.
where is the value? You know what I'm saying?
Kinda ties it.
Actually, it kind of like
It ties it all together.
it's kind of a paradox because
Yes.
you're willing to sleep on the nigga couch, but you wouldn't just go on somebody's podcast. Like,
I can't decide if we're looking at an extreme case of nepotism or we're just looking at like nepotism. And we don't have too many niggas who can exercise nepotism in the black media. Like, of course, like Diddy's kids, you know, they have a certain level of nepotism where their dad is Diddy, even though that might not be the best thing right now, but they were automatically A-list because of that shit. They drop a song, it goes #1, of course. You know, just certain things like that. I'm like, maybe Maul is suffering from nepotism
And he could
because
be,
of where he's coming from.
But it's a heightened sense of it for sure. If that's the case.
for
You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
I think, maybe Maul got too much confidence. Too much of anything
But that
could be
came
bad for
confidence that came from like the prestige within his family already.
What, nigga, y'all say that, but what are you talking about, prestige?
She's Big's brother.
Yeah.
yeah, I was about to say that's kind of
Rockefeller.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and maybe
And there's
given,
a certain, my
I was
bad.
about to say maybe given that he feels the need to be like nobody's helping me because he already probably gets a lot of the not industry plan, but like
I see what you're
nigga,
saying.
Yeah,
you
you're right.
aren't responsible for your status in life.
Yeah.
So as
And-
many people who say that like they helping him out in any sort of way, he's
Boom.
probably very
suffered from a
sensitive.
big
And,
shadow.
and that's okay.
It's
and
like
I'm glad you-
overcompensation.
For sure. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that because, but then it also makes you wonder if that's what you're suffering from, then you would wear your biggest, I feel like you would wear your biggest
Accomplishment, achievement. Like,
No.
success.
No.
On your
we
like
would
you
at
be the
least
thing.
see it immediately, right?
See what?
But we would. So if everybody thinks I'm a victim of nepotism or something like that,
Yeah.
but I start some sort of software that sells $7 billion 20 years from now or something like that, it's like I'm the nigga that sold that software, period. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the podcast.
That's,
that's what the
that's
podcast
the Rory and Maul podcast.
Exactly.
But instead, we listen to 27 minutes of a nigga who he doesn't understand the concept of growing this company.
No.
So that's why I don't think, that's why I say there could be that, but
I see.
But
Yeah.
it could be the shadow thing too that still kind of made him that way to where he kind of kills his own blessing.
Does he
You know what I'm saying?
seem like he has like a lot of business, like acumen?
that conversation in
What?
terms of
What I just said?
It sounds like he has just as much as you, nigga.
Yeah, I already called you
I don't know.
stupid, so
I don't listen to
can't
Rory and Maul
say it
podcast
again.
every week. I really only listen to it when Joe takes a shot. They take a shot at Joe.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason to listen. Essentially,
That's standard. Like,
So, but based off that conversation, which is everything that you're talking about, does he have any business acumen? It looked like a 0 out of 10. It legit looked like a 0 out of 10 in that one
It did.
conversation.
It did because he didn't even try to like hear what they were saying.
No.
He had a reason.
He was
for
just
it.
stuck in
But
his
his
cool.
reason was so like
The reason
surface
was
level.
insane.
Y'all wish
so
y'all was that cool.
No.
No,
that's
absolutely
crazy,
not. No, that's crazy.
If that's
too
what cool is. I'm happy.
Nigga, that's cool.
I'm happy I'm not.
Maul
that.
cool as fuck.
lukewarm is cool.
Right. It also
That's crazy.
It is.
boosted Julian up crazy because the podcast has clearly had some sort of significant growth.
Yes, it has.
Or some sort of growth since Julian has gotten there. Excuse me. So hearing and then kind of just you can just read the room and kind of feel the vibes. It's obvious the day-to-day, the overall well-being, health, growth, everything of this podcast business is Rory and Julian. I mean, that's just what it feels like. And in that conversation, it made it even more seem like this nigga off camera is running your business that you don't even understand the base objectives of how to grow a business. So it like mistakenly makes Julian look like, now if there's some sort of story arc, I saw something in Reddit where they were like, Julian's been auditioning for the B mic this whole time. Like on some low level look. This conversation just put it into the world. Like, nigga, I'm doing more for your business.
Julian-
Could improve. Hold on. Let me cook, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It could put some sort of little undertone thing between. I did it.
You did it. But don't just please. I don't even want to make a joke about because that was nasty. Let me cook. But no, I get what you're
You know
saying.
what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, but I think Julian is just a cool nigga. Like I think he is just the type to be involved in all aspects,
all that's going on. Yeah.
In all aspects of whatever cause he's fighting for.
He actually just wants the best. For
I think
all
Julian
that
is a
shit.
soldier.
In certain aspects of a business, that you only allow that level of access and influence when it's given to you by one of the owners. Like you don't just come in and just have all these good ideas about the direction and the life of the whatever of the show without somebody saying, Rory,
Almost like
come on in and help me with this aspect of the business outside of the production. Well, let's really, and then now it looks like how many meetings, if we're supposed to be here 4 days a week, I show up, we both show up 4 days a week, and the other person might show up 2 days a week.
and y'all both show up at early as fuck.
But given that, it makes me feel even more that he wants to be behind the scenes. Like he wants to be involved in the inner workings of the shit.
I
don't think he doesn't seem too interested in trying to like sneak a spot onto the podcast.
Oh no, that was some Reddit shit. I was
Okay,
just bringing
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I don't think that.
Yeah.
But I'm just the fact that somebody did put it in Reddit. It is some shit. That's some weak-minded shit for a nigga to take that bait.
Yeah,
like that would be some. If a nigga if they had tension between each other because of something like that, it's like, come on now.
We're talking about a man who
That's
got
some-
the shit smacked out of him. And
No, he got his ass beat.
apologized.
He got his ass beat. It wasn't even a smack. He got
beat up.
He got beat multiple. He got beat.
What?
Repeated blows.
I didn't see the evidence.
Yeah, they
but
said they repeated.
We didn't see the evidence, but I heard him
first
account.
counter.
And he said he didn't hit me just once. Yeah, he
Multiple
punched
times.
me.
It was
I
a
fell to the ground, and then he hit me quite a few more times. I was like, damn,
But I
nigga,
could tell-
like, what the fuck?
But
It sounds like a dream to him a little
Yeah,
bit too, right?
you really got beat up, bro. This is crazy.
but the nigga obviously he be in the gym every day, so it's like he probably didn't feel the shit.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
Nah, because the next day on Twitter Space, he was like, my head started hurting. I said, oh, shit. Here we go. Somebody might get sued in this
Well,
bitch.
His brain has probably never touched his skull before.
But honestly, I've heard enough. I've been watching more Rory Mal clips. Julian, I don't know if he's a cool dude. I can't give him that. Even I saw all his clips on Danny.
Danny, yeah.
He does talk like a nigga. Like I don't know
When
what I don't know what Eden. I don't know what he said to Eden to make Eden punch him. But I can hear a nigga who speaks like that
It's that know-it-all.
possibly getting touched. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not diving enough. But I've seen niggas who speak with the same way that he speaks get touched a couple
The
times.
cadence,
in my
the
life.
tone, like
The
all
cadence,
that
the
shit.
tone.
Yeah.
It's just I've seen niggas like that get
Yeah.
punched, so it doesn't surprise me.
Does he speak like a person
The
who
angle.
has never been punched in the face before?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Not
absolutely.
anymore.
Not well, yeah.
No,
No,
it's
he still
definitely
speaks
it's
that way.
still.
Well, because
It's,
his abuse
it definitely
is gone.
has less. It's toned down a little bit. Normally, that cuts a nigga's like disrespect down like by
lot.
50 to 60.
octaves, nigga.
Yeah, he can't like I say 50 to 60%.
The guy that got punched.
Yeah, when you've never been punched in the mouth for something that you've said, it normally brings a nigga down at least halfway. His only came down
rational
like
being.
a rational person. His only came down like one or two.
But that's the thing. Nothing probably changed for him because Eden was that nigga was just kind of crazy, but just punching shit out of him.
yeah, because
So
that was
him
crazy.
punching him,
Yeah.
like him punching Julian, probably wasn't the best. Like
he
probably
wasn't the right person to do it.
he wasn't the right person. He needed like
If Rory
maybe
did
like
that,
ice.
If Rory did it,
Like it fucking.
he'd really be like, "Oh shit, damn,
Well,
I must have been out of pocket."
Nah, he
it's
would
not
cry.
even about the person. It's about the approach, like the reasoning for it. Like I feel like he doesn't understand why he got punched in the face.
That's what I was.
see.
trying to
I see
You know
what
what I
you're
mean?
saying. Yeah. Shit, I don't
It's
know.
confusing,
Even after
man.
watching them talk about it, I was like,
Yeah, they never give a real reason.
Yeah, like the nigga was just barbaric. That's
Yeah.
all they had to say.
I wonder
about
if Danny.
Like he
Yeah,
said, he
he
said
really-
something. The fuck?
and what is even crazier, it made it seem like he like it didn't feel like he was punching him in anger. It felt like it was just something that he had to do that day.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
help.
like a
But
reflex.
it also felt built up. Like I've been holding this back a
Yeah,
little bit.
but even during, it didn't seem like he was worried about
Consequences.
the anger of it. It was just this has to be done today.
Yeah.
we got a punch on this nigga.
I've been putting it
That's
off
what
for
we
too
call
long.
the flow state. You can
Yeah.
just be totally present in the moment, focus on one task.
Yeah, that nigga was zenned out.
But yeah, man, that Rory and Mal clip of them talking about the business, that was pretty crazy. Overall,
What type of advice would you give to Maul? Because he's probably watching.
Maul don't watch other niggas' podcasts.
no, he doesn't even. Yeah, he doesn't.
You don't think so?
He said
No,
that.
he said it. He said he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he doesn't during
Maul
that
don't
whole
even.
thing.
Maul probably don't
He said
listen
he doesn't
to Maul.
watch the podcast. He said that he would never reach out to any podcast to go on a podcast.
He
said all that
probably
shit.
he probably wait for his mother to call him.
He said he wouldn't
That's
reach
how
out to a
serious he
friend.
take his.
He wouldn't reach out to niggas he knows
Yeah.
on their show.
He don't even call his
If
mom.
he was in town,
My
man,
initial thought was, oh my God, if I was in business with a nigga like this, how could I fake my death to get my shares back? That was like,
You gonna
how
pull
can
a
I,
champ?
how can I figure something
just
out
like-
to get up out of this shit? Because there's no way I can continue forward with this nigga.
No, that's crazy.
This is crazy. Like,
crazy.
you know,
That's
that's
crazy.
what I was thinking. How do I get out of this? Fake it, just go to my family, and then we could just get it back. How, you know what I'm saying? This is crazy, bro.
I was about to say, it's gonna have to be something crazy.
Bro, if for 90 days, Rory and Julian chilled out on constant development and trying to grow the podcast, like I would be dying to know what the first quarter to the second quarter analytics would look like if they forced him to be a part more of it. He might be fully a part of it because this is still something that we technically don't know. All I'm saying is after that conversation, it don't look like the nigga gives a fuck about the direction of this shit.
It don't.
It's all about showing up, getting the checks on time every time. That's all it seems like he gave a fuck about.
But
So I don't know.
I don't know. Going back to like Julian, like he probably didn't want to be a B mic, but he definitely wanted more. You know what I mean?
Look, he looked like he
wanted more. Like
he was bestowed more, and we saw the hierarchy.
Yeah.
The hierarchy actually
through the conversation.
Was extremely established.
And based off how he was talking, he sounds competent.
Yeah,
He sounds like this is happening for a reason.
Shout out that black girl we never talk about.
Damaris.
Yeah.
It sounds like they all care more than the nigga that's actually
Literally, like
That's
even
all. It just sound like they all
she was
care
like,
more.
even she was like, nigga, this is how podcasts do things. Like, you know, you're supposed to be friendly with motherfuckers. Merge worlds.
Yeah, it's kind of sick.
Precisely, nigga.
Yeah, man. Well, all right. Let's move to this next thing now.